Hello there, I'm gonna try to explain how to properly handle the first corner of a race on the Project Homecoming 5M server. But the things I'm going to explain can apply to any racing game really, so I hope you can give me a bit of your time and I'll make sure that you and the drivers around you can have a better experience. Now, I'm making this video with the understanding you already know and understand the rules of racing, as this will continue on those core rules. In addition to the rules, I have 3 additional guidelines that should help you tackle the first stages of a race. When it comes to the first couple of corners, there are some differences to the way things go when the race is a bit further on the way. Drivers are packed much more closer together and the average speed is much lower. Things are really exciting as everyone wants to get ahead of the person in front of them. This is where rule 1 comes into play. Rule number 1. No race has ever been won in the first corner. These are the words of Enzo Ferrari and can be applied to a lot more than just racing, but I'm not here to give a lecture on philosophy. What it means to us is don't get overzealous. Be patient. Wait for your chance. Maybe the driver in front of you gets involved in an accident and you get away with an easy overtake. Never forget that you have a whole race ahead of you and all the overtaking opportunities that come with it. So stay calm and go with the flow of traffic. Rule number 2. Go slow to go fast. Braking is an essential skill in racing. Braking too early ruins your lap, and braking too late makes you run wide, giving your chaser an easy overtake. During the start of a race, it's actually really easy. Don't go too fast and brake early, especially if you start further back. Me personally, I'm not even at full throttle for most of the straight leading up to the first bend because of the lag involved. Because if you miss your braking points, well, this happens.
What we're about to see is Hulkenberg get too deep on the brakes, locked up, and boom.
Wow, just could not stop in time.
Now, this is an extreme example, but in our case you'll be at the back of the pack because you get called out by everyone on the grid. So go easy, because remember, you have a whole race ahead of you. Rule number 3. Stay in your lane. Now, I'm not a brake boosting god, but my lines are pretty decent, which is what makes me a pretty decent enough driver. And you know what my lines benefit me at the start? Jack shit. You don't need perfect eyesight to see that it's quite crowded in the first stage of a race. This means that the whole concept of racing lines goes straight out of the window. It becomes a live and let live scenario, or as I like to call it, stay in your lane. Now playing is a clip of Max Verstappen during the 2017 Chinese Grand Prix. As you'll see, he has a very good run down the main straight, then takes the inside of turn 1, which turns to the outside of turn 2. Where he stays, on the outside of a corner. He doesn't take the racing line and cuts inside, because he'll hit the drivers inside of him. He stays in his lane, and he gives the room to the drivers around him. The key is to be predictable for the drivers around you. If you start on the outside of a corner, you can carry more speed and stay on the outside. If you start on the inside, you have the shorter route, and you stay on the inside. These were 3 easy rules to help you tackle the first few corners of an online race. Remember to call other players out if you get taken out, so they wait for you. If you see you took someone out, find a safe spot by the side of the track and wait for them to pass. One last thing to remember is that we're all human. We all make mistakes. We just gotta make sure we learn from them. I'll see you on the grid.